My name is Lauren O'Connell, and welcome to my ingredients analysis, application demonstration, and wear test of the Stila Hide and Chic Fluid Foundation. If you're not interested in the ingredients, feel free to skip ahead. I have timestamps in my description box below, as well as clickable timestamps pinned as the first comment in this video. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my upcoming videos. My videos help you to become a more informed consumer because I dive deep into the ingredients going into our cosmetics, skincare, and hair care products using evidence-based research. You should absolutely know the ingredients going into your personal care products, and I'm here to help you do just that. Now let's get into these ingredients. This formula is packed, and I mean packed, with emollients. Emollients are going to really soften and smooth out the skin. They're going to help the skin just look very hydrated and moisturized. Within these emollients, we have a lot of silicones. Silicones help the foundation to glide very smoothly and evenly onto the skin, and they also help to prevent transepidermal water loss. That's because they form this lattice-like structure on the skin, and although nutrients can pass through the little holes within the lattice, they are too small for water molecules to pass through. That means that the moisture within your skin is going to stay there, leaving your skin plumped up and youthful looking, which is great if you're like me and you are 37 years old with emerging fine lines and wrinkles and you have dry skin, because for me, I need as much moisture in my skin as I can possibly get. Another notable emollient within this formula is butylene glycol. Butylene glycol is a humectant. That means it's going to bind to moisture, and once again, it's just going to keep that moisture within the skin, giving us a nice plumped up effect. Butylene glycol is also a 1% indicator. Now, if you saw my video on how to read cosmetics and skincare ingredients labels, you'll know that a 1% indicator means that when we're looking at an ingredients label and when we hit that 1%, so in this case, it would be butylene glycol, that means every other ingredient after it is less than 1% of the formula. That doesn't mean it's not effective, it only means it's less than 1%. By law, cosmetics companies are allowed to put the rest of the ingredients that are less than 1% in any which order on the ingredients label. That's to keep the formula a trade secret. Caprylic capric triglyceride is also in this formula. I love this ingredient because it is so incredibly moisturizing to the skin. This is a combination of a fatty alcohol, which is the good kind of alcohol, the alcohol that lends a lot of emollients to our skin, with a fatty acid. Remember that fatty acids are an essential part of the lipid matrix on the stratum corneum of our skin. Just a quick little brief science lesson, but the stratum corneum, think of it as being made up of bricks and mortar. The bricks are skin cells and the mortar is this lipid matrix. And the lipid matrix is full of cholesterol, ceramides, and fatty acids, and it's going to keep our skin just looking incredibly supple, youthful, and healthy. As we get older in our mid-20s, that lipid matrix starts to deplete. So we need to do our best to replenish it with healthy, good ingredients in our skincare and cosmetics products. So it's a wonderful thing that this ingredient is in this formula. Caprylic capric triglyceride is also a texture enhancer, so it does have influence on the viscosity of the foundation. We also have tocopherol and tocopherol acetate in this formula. This is an antioxidant, it's vitamin E, and responsible for skin smoothing and just skin conditioning. The last emollient I want to touch on is the Chondrus crispus extract. This is a nutrient-packed seaweed. Moving on, we have one solvent in this formula, isododecacaine, and this ingredient helps to dissolve other ingredients within the formula to keep the formula consistent and fluid. Next up, we have a stabilizer, and this ingredient serves to stabilize the pH of the formula. It keeps the ingredients in the formula functioning and prevents them from breaking down. Disodium EDTA is a chelating agent. Now, this foundation is water-based, and sometimes we have metallic ions that are in the water, or even the foundation can come into contact with metallic ions when it's being manufactured in the processing plant. So this disodium EDTA is going to bind to these metallic ions, inactivate them, and prevent them from degrading other ingredients within the formula. To wrap up these ingredients, we have a texture enhancer, which is going to influence the sensory experience of the foundation. The texture enhancer used in this formula is magnesium sulfate, and this foundation is described as a fluid foundation, so the magnesium sulfate is going to have an impact on that. We have a thickener, diceramonium hectorite. This also works as a stabilizer, so it's going to help to stabilize that pH. As a thickener, it's going to influence the viscosity of the formula. We have opacifying agents, and I do want to point out that aluminum hydroxide also works as an emollient. Because this is a foundation with so many different shades, we're going to have different quantities of opacifying agents for each individual shade. Lastly, we have two preservatives in this formula, and these are preservatives I see in nearly every cosmetic and skincare product I review. That wraps up the ingredients in this foundation, and so far I'm very happy with what I saw, and I'm happy that there's no added fragrance to the formulas. Fragrances can be very skin irritating, so good job, Stila. If you enjoyed the ingredients analysis, please give me a thumbs up and let me know if you learned something new. Now let's move on to this product packaging and application. The Stila Hide and Chic foundation comes in this gold box. Very simple, minimalist type of look, and it is 1 fluid ounce and 30 milliliters. It does retail for $39 US. When I move the packaging around, I can see the ingredients on one side. They also on the back have benefits of the foundation, and it does say it is a light to medium buildable coverage with a natural satin finish. On the back side, there are directions on how to use it, and it does say shake to activate. The bottle itself is mimicking that gold look with Stila written across from it, and I love it when foundations show a little bit of the actual product in the packaging because it gives you a great idea of how much you are using up. On the bottom side, I can see the shade I'm using, and this one is Fair 2. When I open up the package, I can see that it has this really nice brushed type of metallic look to it with a nice little pump and dispenser. I am now going to remove my makeup. I will reapply my skincare, leave my eyes, leave my lips, and we will try on this foundation together. So first I'm going to give this a good shake and just apply it to my hand and take a look at the product itself. Now it is quite fluid. It's already running down my hand. I don't detect a scent whatsoever, and it has a light to medium creamy type of feel. Even though it is a fluid foundation, there is quite a creaminess to this texture, so I will apply this sparingly. I'm now going to apply the foundation using a Beauty Blender sponge. This is 1 coat of the Stila foundation on the right side of my face. I'm now going to add 1 more coat and give it more of a medium coverage. The right side of my face now has 2 coats of the Stila foundation, and the left side of my face is still foundation free. I'm now going to apply 2 coats to the left side of my face. I've let the foundation settle onto my skin for about 2 minutes, so here it is on its own with no additional makeup on top. My initial impressions of this foundation are that it was very easy to apply. It blended so nicely, and my skin right now has a nice, just natural look to it with a satiny type of sheen. I've now added the rest of my makeup, and this is what I would typically wear on a day-to-day basis. The makeup was very easy to apply on top of this foundation. I didn't have any hiccups whatsoever. Now I'm going to head out. I'm seeing the Frozen 2 movie with my kids, and when I come back, we'll see how the makeup has worn on my skin. In the meantime, I will not touch up my makeup at all. I just got back from the Frozen 2 movie, and I have to say, if you have children or you just love Disney movies, by all means, go see it. It was absolutely adorable. Now let's chat about this foundation. I want to say right away that it has given my skin a beautiful even tone, and my skin looks very natural. It's such a light foundation that it's allowed my skin really to breathe, but it's given me a beautiful sheen to my skin. A few issues I have with this foundation are that, number one, I have very, very dry skin, but I do have a slightly oily T-zone, specifically at the sides of my nose. When I was at the movies and I went into the restroom, I could see in the mirror right away that the sides of my nose did look quite shiny. And keep in mind, I have not touched up my makeup at all since I saw you last. I did also notice that some of the foundation has settled into the sides of my nose. I can actually see a small clump of foundation just sitting there. And my real problem area is my under eye fine lines. I don't have many of them, but I do have a few. And I did notice that the foundation has slightly settled into those fine lines as well. What that tells me is that if you have deeper fine lines, wrinkles, crow's feet, marionette lines, there is a good chance that this foundation is going to migrate and settle into those lines. The last thing I want to mention is that my chin and my cheeks are feeling quite dry right now. And I know that as time goes on today, they are eventually going to feel like they will be able to crack in half. So this foundation did not do a great job moisturizing my skin. Overall, I will definitely use this foundation up because I will touch up my makeup throughout the day, and it's not hard to take a Beauty Blender sponge and just to dab it into the fine lines around my eyes and to add a little bit of powder where I need it or a little bit of a hydrating mist. But would I repurchase this foundation? Probably not. This foundation would work very well, I think, for anyone with just normal skin. I do think the price of the foundation is fair, and it was great to use a Stila product. I have not used Stila in years and years and years, so I wanted to buy the foundation and just reintroduce myself to the brand. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of how this Stila Hide and Chic foundation looks on my skin, or if you have any other foundations you'd like me to review for you. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now to Lauren O'Connell Beauty TV, and let's navigate together through the world of beauty.